Hello and welcome to the 14th episode of My Art is My Voice podcast. I am Rebecca Danger.
I am Tom Ferry.
Do you want to talk about what's
so
on the table?
I've got a finished product come out of my independent study at the Baker Creek Ceramic Studio. So this was a study in rocks and trying to achieve a rock-like finish. Overall, I'm extremely happy with it. It's
very rocky.
I think it's a wonderful start. It definitely took me the direction I wanted to go.
That's good. Is that all you have to say?
Yeah, okay. Not all. I think one interesting thing I've learned this last 2 weeks in particular about my own personal creative journey is that, like, when I don't have creativity or I'm lacking or I'm just trying to figure out something to create, if I show up, it may not happen that day, it may not happen the second day. I might get 4 or 5 days in and then all of a sudden something I'm doing evolves into more. And I've realized that more is generally a buy-in on my part. And by that meaning I tell myself, I come up with a story finally about what I'm creating.
You're selling yourself.
I start selling myself internally.
Right.
And then I can start seeing the vision and I start seeing the art or the product or whatever I'm working on. And then you start blue sky dreaming, and then pretty soon I'm in, cloud 9 creativity flow state. So I think that's an honest look at what it takes to be creative. I think I'm just not creative all the time. It just doesn't show up that way for me. Now that once I'm in this creative state like I'm in this week, without a doubt, that creativity will ride me through the next month or 2 months or whatever it is. I can focus on this type of art that I'm working on and creating. But at some point it does go away.
I think that's a really honest way of looking at it, though, because I think probably, again, that romanticized view, right? Like, we were just creative all the time. Right. And it's like, well, yes, but also I allow the space for it. Right. You can't, that's the thing I always find with creativity. And like right now, for me, where I'm at with kids and schedules and all of that kind of stuff, it's so hard to it's 8:45, we drop the kid off at school. I've got an hour and 30 minutes. Okay, creativity now. And it's unrealistic, right? Like you're not going to just turn it on and off.
Right,
like
and especially if you're at the beginning stage of something.
Right.
And what I'm finding for myself is a lot of what's going on, or what I'm trying to bring out, is more textural and more natural and more inspired by nature, and yet not creating that object. And so understanding that takes a lot lot experimentation, a lot of prototyping, or however you want to look at it.
Right.
And I'm realizing that is the most joyous part of the creativity for me, is that when I do that buy-in, when I sell myself the project's direction, where we're going, what I'm working on, then it becomes fun.
I've been noticing, I've been knitting and really enjoying that. But then as soon as I start to think, I have to edit this, and I have to get it on a schedule, and I have to get it out online, and I have to, and it's not even a have to. I want to. Right. I want to put the pattern out so other people can knit it too and share that. But it's all of a sudden those, the devils in the details. Right. And it's like that part of it becomes the challenge.
It becomes overwhelming. And I think that I'm, at least this go around, I'm just starting to release it and surrender it in that it's out of my control.
Well, I think just
meaning how the sales end of it, or getting into a gallery, or getting all this stuff, it's out of my control from the aspect of I don't get to choose that, but I can choose to show up and give them that opportunity.
And I think just like you're saying, where you have to allow the room for the creativity, I know for me, I need to sit down with where I'm at on the pattern, evaluate it, make sure I have the colors, make a plan, and then move forward with that. Right. But when I haven't made that time, because we've had other stuff going on, then it becomes much more like, oh no, how am I going to move? So I think it's, time, right? It just, everything takes time. Right. I think it's easy to forget that when you're online with social media and you're swiping, and it's like there's so much time that goes in behind each of those posts that's on there, and we're just seconds
Right.
of it, and it's that final product over and over and
Right.
over that I know takes just hours and hours on the backside.
Yeah,
you
the
know?
refinement of what we're doing can be a lot.
Refinement of both the creativity and the business side, right?
Exactly. Yeah, and so yesterday, I've been doing these rock studies. I actually didn't have a physical rock that I worked off of.
Oh, that's funny.
I just kind of
Well, you did good.
Yeah, I did whatever I wanted to do. But then yesterday we went to the river and I picked up, I don't know, half a dozen rocks for rock studies. Because it was too early, that where I was heading, I didn't know what I was going to do with this.
You needed some play first.
So you need some play. So now, and then after building one, then you start seeing the details in the natural place.
Which is interesting because, like, I'm looking at it and I very much see that in there. So
yeah, I think it's more just about the textural crevices and stuff that I want to refine and bring a little bit more into it. But yeah. The pottery's been super fun, and it's been super challenging when it comes to the glazes.
Is that the hardest part for you?
I think so, because they don't look, you're not painting on the color you're trying to get usually.
That's what I always found too.
Right.
And then it's a surprise. It's not even like, you put the glaze on, you're like, oh, it's like I put a glaze on and a week later it's like, oh, is that what I was thinking at that point?
Yeah, no, I walk through the class shelves, and I bet every other time I'm there, I find something that I had done that it didn't even recognize. Because the glaze is like, whoa.
Oh my gosh, did I make that?
Right, that is not what I wanted.
That's funny.
So yeah, but I think that challenge, I also realized, like, I feed off of that. Like that challenge of mastering even one glaze. Right? How many coats and where to put it and how to get it to flow or whatever you want to do. But I think it's a wonderful challenge, and I think most art, I'm starting to realize, is like just unlimited. Like, but you have to show up. You have to step outside of the box a little bit. You can't just do what somebody showed you to do.
Right.
I mean, that pure creativity is taking all of those aspects of our own individual lives and bringing them together on a project.
Right. I always like to take in the data of what others have done and then try and say it in my own way with whatever medium it is.
Yeah, and for me, like, I'm just as happy just to understand the rules involved.
I mean, that's the reality, right?
Like, there's certain rules in pottery, like it's going to break in the firing, or the glaze is going to stick to the kiln shelf. There's certain things there's parameters you have to work in.
Right.
But outside of that, it's just, I prefer chaos, honestly.
Yeah. I'm in chaos right now. I like structure. So, but interestingly, I'm working with the knitting again, which is very structured. It's literally the same thing over and over.
So it's probably meeting that internal need.
Well, I learned today that knitting is one of the things that can help reduce your risk of dementia.
Oh, interesting.
Which is interesting,
because
I think it's
cool.
that
hand-eye coordination,
and all of it.
And left and right, you're working both sides of the brain the whole time.
The bilateral.
Yep.
And a sense of purpose, I guess, is another, something to get out for, and just enough to keep your brain engaged, but not too much to overwhelm it. It was interesting. It's interesting as I'm coming back into it, because I burned myself out so hard on it, ironically with the knitting tattoos, that I just couldn't even. I hid yarn. I have a box. I cut it down to a box. Everything was in there. I just put it away. I hadn't even touched it in years. And it's just, even last year we were working on that project and I was knitting, but it wasn't the time. This year, that's what I need. And then seeing all this information with it's really interesting. So
awesome.
How these things go, right? Like you had the spot at the ceramic studio came up in your life, and then the tools came from your friend. And I like to listen.
That's the universe working with us, right?
I like to listen to those things.
Yeah. And I think that's what it is. When the creativity's not there, if I show up, the universe is going to present me something.
Right. As long as you're looking.
And then I just have to buy into it.
Then you have to sell yourself on it.
Right. You have to sell yourself a little bit. And I'm starting to ask myself more like, does this align with me?
I think I've been asking myself that much more recently. Like, we had a big family gathering yesterday, and groups of people are very difficult for me, even family. And so it was definitely like I was hostess, which is nice because there's endless things to do, right? So I could kind of, and it was a warm day and we had, mayonnaise and stuff out. So I could be like, I need to get that back in the fridge. I'll be back, guys, right? So, but it was interesting just thinking about all the time I've spent with family and feeling guilty for struggling around large groups of people and just kind of being like, you know what, that's just what it is, like I think there's that acceptance of no, I don't really want to be doing this,
right? Exactly,
and that's okay.
Yep, totally okay.
Not trying to fit yourself into something.
Yep.
So
yeah, I think most of us are trying to fit into something that we may or may not align with. Right,
and there's always somebody's always got an idea of what your life should look like, right? I think I always love the Byron Katie stuff where it's like the color, let's do art terms, the color blue doesn't need to worry about what the color green is doing.
Right.
Like, you're being green wrong, right? Like, you just need to worry about being the color blue, which would be, a metaphor for yourself. But I like that. I like that other people's lives
they're not ours.
But it doesn't, I mean, it's like such a simple concept and yet not, right?
Yeah, it's a totally simple concept.
I think, thinking about like childhood, the kids that were here, we had, we had 18 people and 6 dogs.
That's a lot.
There was a puppy. That was wonderful. But I think about the kids and like allowing them to just be themselves and not, because I think even since childhood, we're like looking to our parents to tell us what to do, right? So it's really easy to hear other people's opinions and then think, oh no, that is what I need to be doing.
Right.
Whether it's life or art or,
Right.
It's just, it's interesting. So we watched, I'm going to bring this up now before I forget, Mr. Danger's birthday, 45th birthday was last Monday. And we're going to go to the theater. I think I told you this, but it was really expensive.
Yeah,
so
everything's expensive right now.
I did find out that Costco has movie theater tickets cheaper more recently, so good to know. So we ended up buying all 5 of the Ghostbusters movies on streaming, whatever it was. Not streaming if you buy it, but you know what I mean, digital. And we watched the newest one, and not the newest, the second newest one. One of the characters in there, his name was Podcast. And he had one of the like big boom mics that he just would like be with all the time. And they were always joking about podcasts. And he goes, yeah, episode 46, it really found its voice. So I think that's what we should stick on now. And then the funniest part was, I'm sorry if I'm giving this away, but the remaining alive Ghostbusters came back in the end. So I can't remember. Egon had died. The actual actor had died. He wrote it, which was cool. And he came back as a ghost, which was actually super cool. Actually really enjoyed that. I thought it was going to be just another remake, and I actually really enjoyed it. But the funniest part with the Podcast kid was Dan Aykroyd has an occult shop, and the kid's talking about his podcasts, and he goes, "You're the podcast name?" And the kid goes, "You're my one subscriber." And then Dan Aykroyd goes, "Yeah, it really found its voice about episode 46. And I just like, we've been joking about it all weekend. It was really funny. So,
that is hilarious.
So we're on 14. So we only have 32 more to go. We'll find our voice at that point. So, perfect. Yeah, I wanted to share that. I thought that was really funny. So
that is funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to watch that.
It was surprisingly good. I mean, it's kind of a kid's movie, but yeah, I enjoyed it. So, and then we got to do movie night every night last week. So, yeah, we had a busy week. I feel like I didn't manage to get my YouTube video done, and we had family and birthday, and I don't know. It was like a black hole. Do you get weeks like that where you're just where did it?
Yeah, everything just zaps by.
Yeah, just zapped right by, and I guess it was.
Yeah, I think today's one of those days for me. I came here to do the podcast. I have to go drop off some bee frames.
Yes.
And then I have to go back down to Baker Creek and pick up more pottery.
When you got out of your car, there were
the honeybees coming out of my car that followed me.
Yes, Mr. Bees. There you go.
Yeah, I think we're in a little bit of a a nectar dearth right now.
Oh, do you think so?
In this area.
What does that mean?
That means there's no nectar flowing.
They're just struggling. What
I don't
makes
think they're struggling. I think they're being more opportunistic.
Okay.
So, like, I had some honey in those frames, and I'd set them outside and getting them ready to go.
So they jumped on.
So yeah, whatever forager bees were around jumped on them.
Well, now they're down here.
But usually, if they're taking an external feed like that, in my experience, that usually means we're in some kind of dearth in that hive's area.
It feels like everything's weird right now. Do you like weather? Do you know what creates that?
No, it's just the natural flow of the environment. Like, most of the flowers are moving through. Like, we've gotten through the raspberries and the blueberries, and all of those flowers are done. You still have dandelions they can pull stuff off of.
We have a lot of clover.
There's definitely a little bit of blackberry still going on, right? Okay. But here in another 2 weeks, that'll be finishing up, and that's the biggest flow is the blackberries. Okay. So, and, in the Pacific Northwest, it depends on our weather because, like, it pretty much has to be over 65 degrees for nectar to flow in a flower.
Yeah, it's been pretty warm, but then, like, we have foxglove in the yard, and I noticed they're kind of...
Yeah.
I was showing some to my dad for Father's Day yesterday.
They're wonderful, beautiful flower inside.
Yeah.
In fact, they remind me so much of watercolors inside.
And ours are huge.
Yeah, they're like super tall.
James's.
And I don't know if the honeybees hit the foxglove or not. I haven't done any research on that.
I think so.
But they might only be getting pollen. It depends on the flowers. Not all flowers are heavy nectar producers.
Well, I think that bell shape must be helpful for something.
It's to get them to go, to go inside. Whether it's native, whether it's honeybees.
Yeah. I don't know.
But yeah, no, it's been
bees are doing their thing too, right?
The bees are doing this thing. It's definitely been warm this year.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I've just been thinking so much about like what a creative life looks like and what that means and like what does it mean for work and what does it mean for just living and like it's an interesting thing and I think it's constantly changing like the bees, right? Like and we don't necessarily know why we're in dearths or not, right? It's, I don't know, it's interesting.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think with the lack of Canadians down here that has started, has not started. We're in the freaking midst of it.
Yeah, we're in the midst.
But the reality of it is, I mean, that created a dearth along these border towns that none of us were ready for or needed or wanted. Right,
because you're a little bit more south, but we're like, I mean, you see Canada when you leave my house.
Yeah. And we both use Blaine.
The town has been hit so hard. We have all the World Cup stuff. Have you seen the like do not block intersection signs? But I don't see the traffic.
I don't see anybody
need
here.
The sign up. I know it's
so bizarre.
It's interesting.
Right?
It's been really weird. Yeah. I mean, I like it in some ways because there's less traffic in our tiny town where there's no traffic already. But it's definitely hit hard and yeah, I think that's part of that creative life, right? Like we were doing the Linden Farmers Market and then last year, like without Canadians,
everything dropped off.
Yeah, to the point where we're not doing that, and I've had to pivot on what I'm doing. And Mr. Danger and I were talking too about like what a job versus self-employment, and like it's an interesting there's such that dream that you want to make money off your creativity, and it's such a challenge in reality. And like you could have, I feel like I'm just repeating myself, but you could have a product selling for months and then just boom, something changes, and
well, and I think the thing is we can create great products or great piece of art, but then the marketing side of it has to be maintained all the time.
Almost more than the creative
Almost more than the creative, especially if you come out with something really popular.
Right, because it's...
But at some point, locally, or, at that small start, you run out of customers, so you have to keep expanding, expanding.
Right.
So, which is nothing wrong with that. I'm more of the opinion of trying to sort out a business model where I'm just it's more focused on the creating new product and new art.
Right.
So that I can just maintain a customer base.
Right. I think that's the goal. But it seems elusive in a lot of ways. And I mean, even just for me, like, I created that at one point, and then everything's so different at this point that it's like I'm not even playing the same game, you know? Because just there's, you know, everybody's like, you have to be online.
Right.
Like we met with our artist friend, and she's like, oh, I'm going to get online. And I just, like, that's such a loaded thing for me at this point.
Right, yeah,
right?
exactly.
Like,
It's not just that simple as
It's
if you don't have a website, you're not going to be successful.
Right.
But most of us have websites.
right.
And most of us...
That's not the hard part.
Right.
It's like, I mean, you can have AI build you what my father-in-law was talking about, musicians using AI to build their websites. And it's like, that's not the hard part, right? Like,
No.
It's interesting. I don't know. Just always a thought, you know, what am I doing?
Right. I do think for myself, I'm starting to look at it more of like what brings me joy, and the creating obviously does. And if I could, you know, you could put me in a cave and I would be just keep bringing supplies, we'll be good.
right.
But
right.
I also know that isn't reality.
Right.
And so now I just decided, you know, we're halfway through the year. Honestly, I would be better off putting my energy and my time right now into my creativity and my art, and do a hard focus until next December, when all applications for whatever I want to do come back up, or November, right?
Right.
We're kind of too late in the year for me to apply to anything, whether it's gallery, whether it's festival, whether it's farmer's market. So I'm going to just take some time and spend on the art, the creativity, and then over the winter start to refocus of what would bring me joy to go do to market myself. Like, is it a festival? Is it approaching the galleries? Is it approaching different odds and ends shops?
Well, certainly you could hit shops in the middle if you felt really solid in what you were doing.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I can jump on opportunities between now and then.
Right.
Like I don't, for myself, I do know, and I don't know if this is a neurodivergent thing, I can set a freaking date out in the middle of nowhere and say, this is my goal, and I will still wait till the last week to do anything. So
yeah.
I'm trying to write a little bit different in that if the idea is good, I will take it into Jackie. And sometimes I get a roll of the eyes, like, seriously? And then sometimes I get oh, that's actually not a bad idea.
Right.
And then those ideas I need to start just moving forward on.
It's interesting I don't think you necessarily said it on now, but how this, I think it was when you came in, how this has come out of the kiln and you brought it today, and you feel like you're in a whole different direction already just from when this is finished. I feel like that's one of the biggest challenges for me, is like by the time I get something to the point of sharing it, I'm already kind of on to something else. Right. I remember when I used to do the books, I would turn it in and then it would come out like a year later. And then I'd have to be like, yay, my book's out. And it's like, if I turned it in a year before, I probably started writing it 6 months before that. So like, I was excited about this 18 months ago. Right. And now it's finally out and I'm supposed to be like, yes, you know, it was a challenge.
Yeah, and I think for the way I'm looking at that is, rather than viewing it as a stepping stone, because like this is a total stepping stone for me. But I can also, 6 months, a year down the road, come back to this piece and realize like, oh no, that was a pretty important moment of time.
Right. Just because it's not necessarily something that's going to go out to the world in a big way doesn't mean it's not significant.
Exactly.
And important.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's learning how to celebrate our own internal wins.
Yeah.
Because each day sets us in a new direction, possibly.
Yes.
Right?
Which can leave us feeling very scattered, right?
Which can definitely leave us scattered. And I think I've, in my own personal growth, like it's easy. It seems to be easier for me to distract myself with something that, let's just say, is filling the time. It's easier for me to push aside that thing that I'm like, oh, this would be really cool. Because sometimes I'll look into that business side of it and go, oh, that's too much freaking effort. Or that's too much work, or do I really want to show up for that? And then pretty soon I discourage myself out of this thing that did bring me joy. And I think some of that is just shaming. Like I think that's all connected into personal shaming, internal shaming. Even on the way here, I got in the car, I loaded everything in the car that I had to get, left the house, got down the driveway, turned right on the road, and went like 20 feet and went, oh, I forgot the B-frames. And then I just kept driving and I went, oh, I'll swing back by on the way after the podcast. And then I got like halfway down the road, I'm like, I didn't forget. I just remembered. So why don't we turn around and pick them up, right?
Interesting.
So that is right, because that telling myself I forgot again,
Yep.
because especially with the neurodivergence, that happens quite a bit to me, that working memory. So, but in that moment, I caught myself and went, no, you remembered. Good job.
Is that
Like-
spell casting language stuff? Like instead of being like, oh, the B frames,
Right.
it becomes you forgot and you always forget, and it becomes that story, right?
That's what I was telling myself halfway down the road.
Right.
You always do this.
And then in doing that, you like gave yourself another opportunity to forget again,
Right.
by not just going back and getting them, right?
That was the thought. Was like, are you going to remember the second time?
Yeah, it's so,
And by saying that statement to myself in my head of like questioning, are you going to remember on the way back? Then I went, oh, I didn't forget. I did remember right now.
remember.
Let's go do it. Right. So it's stepping into that. It's that showing up and not putting it off and putting it off.
human brains are and just
It's so bizarre.
constantly fascinating
Right.
to me. Like, neurodiversity or not, like the stories we tell ourselves are just, and you don't even realize you're doing it.
No,
right?
and you don't realize what that verbiage means to you internally.
Right.
Like there is a
'Cause
difference
it's
between telling
the
myself
normal,
I'm forgetting and then the other side of it
the
of I
acknowledging
remember.
of I'm remembering it right now.
Right.
Because then you're not forgetting.
Right.
You didn't get it on the way out, but you
Right.
remembered soon enough.
Right. And then
to
it was
forget
funny because then in my own head I'm questioning myself of like, well, where would the difference be? Is it like 50 feet ago? Like at the end of my property line? Is that
Right.
still a legal remembering? And I just started joking with myself like
Right.
this is just ridiculous. And I'm like, so what if I'm 5 minutes late to the podcast? I'm 5
care.
minutes late to the
Yeah.
podcast. Like,
Yeah, there's no podcast emergency.
right.
Well, not until episode 46 when
Right.
we really find our
Right,
voice.
we're gonna have to find our
Then there'll
voice.
be podcast emergencies.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's, I don't know, the urgency and
Yeah.
all of it is just so, like, are you safe right now, right?
Right.
That's like the anxiety management, and I mean, we can just spin up to a million places, which can be wonderful if you have a creative brain that can focus on something
Right.
like clay
Right.
or fabric
Right.
or yarn, like that's a wonderful side to it. But when it's focused on anxiety and
Right.
shaming and all of that
Right.
kind of stuff,
Right.
it's not so good.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then like yesterday going to the river, right? We don't go to the river that much. I have a pond on my property and so I get my fill of the water. But what I realized about the river, and so this is, I guess the second time this year we've went to the river. And the first time I remember telling Jackie, I'm like, when we left, I'm like, oh, we really need to come back here. For some reason, this totally energizes me. But yesterday, walking the sandbars, looking at rocks and stuff, I realized it's the gray noise of the river.
You like the
It's
background.
that constant background that is actually loud enough that nothing outside of what I want to think about is stemming me or affecting me.
That's interesting.
So it's super interesting, and it's super interesting how loud it is and how calm it makes me internally.
I like we like to go to Ocean Beach, Washington, and where it's just like it's the same, that crashing.
The crashing
and
of
it's
the
so
waves.
loud.
Right.
It's so loud, and that like how the water meets the land. I just find that such a magical place.
Absolutely.
Because it's like if you go this way, you're in the ocean, and I don't know. There's something about that. I don't
Right.
necessarily know that the river does the same thing for me, but that crashing ocean.
Yeah, I think
sound
we
does.
all have our own places. I think it's the same as we all have our own art that really lights us up.
Right.
And it should just all be celebrated.
I think that's just like my biggest thing. And, coming from a family weekend and hearing insider news about things, and I just wish we could celebrate everyone and not be, which I do,
Right.
the
We do
be
in
the
our own
change,
small
right?
groups and stuff.
Right. But it's just, it's hard to watch the global scale of everyone being so harsh to each other.
Right. The judgment, the shaming.
Yeah. And I'm guilty of it too. I say, there was an artist on Instagram that I saw, and she made a reel for a commercial, and I like literally watched it and was like, well, I'm done with Instagram if this is what I need to do. So like I'm as guilty of it too, but I think that when you can, like, I'm not going to send a message or leave a comment or, be like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen, and I'm closing my phone down because of it. But if I can take that in my own way, that it impacted me, and I'm going to change my own behavior because of, seeing it as a teacher, I think that's different than this just pulling everyone down because we all feel bad about ourselves, or I don't know what's going on.
Projecting our own pain onto everybody.
Emoting. So that's what I like to call it. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know what, like, make some art that says how you feel. I don't know. That's a silly thing to say,
I think we're too focused on the material side of the art world, like the paintings, or and the name behind the painting, or a piece of pottery and the name behind the piece of pottery, and all of this stuff. But I don't, for myself, I'm realizing, like, part of the reason I don't think our society, the art society, works for me personally is because I think that I'm trying to figure out how to say it. I went blank.
Oh, still good for episode 46. So what I'm hearing is the judginess, because it's such that's where I go to with it.
Thanks for the reminder. So what I was going to say is, I don't think art is about that material product as much as art, for the artists in particular, and I do think this falls true for everybody. It's about the experience.
The experiential side.
Whether it's the customer buying the piece of art and bringing joy to them, or it's about us creating it, I think it's about the experience. So then I just look at my life differently. Like, everything is an opportunity for experience.
It's experiential. Yeah, which I think is then where you come in with is this bringing me joy?
Right.
Is this what I want to be doing?
Like, I mean, if you're, if you're terrified of roller coasters, that's an easy, I'm not going on the roller coaster.
Right.
But there are other smaller roller coasters in life that we do for other people, or we do feel because we feel we have to, or we're shaming ourselves into. Those are the roller coasters that I'm cutting out.
Yes. I think that's a good way of looking at it.
Right.
Well, and also I think you can, look at a full-size roller coaster and be like, that terrifies me.
Right.
Do I need to do anything about that? Can I just not roller coaster, or do I need to face that fear? And
you can look at it and go, that terrifies me, and we're going to push through this.
Right. Or I think I'm at the point where I'm like, that terrifies me, and that's okay.
Right.
Like, I don't need to be a roller coaster person.
Right.
It's okay if I don't. And
right.
Yeah.
How does this benefit me tomorrow?
Well, I think that, I think one of the big ones I've been thinking about is like the constant achieving, the constant, you get through high school and you go to college and you get a career and you upgrade in your career and you're constantly chasing the next thing. Like, I'm just like, whoa, like, let's slow everything down.
Right, but I don't feel like we're consciously choosing the experience we want to have.
Right, that's what I mean, is we're always chasing
Right,
something.
we're being told this is the experience you need to prepare yourself for society.
Right. And there's constantly stories out there to scare you into, I mean, look at how expensive everything is. It's hard not to look at it and be like, I have to make more money, right? At the same time, like, we decided to do the movie at home versus the theater.
Right. You just pick and choose.
Yeah, I mean, even $40 for movie tickets, even 10, 20 years ago for 4 people, that's not bad at all. And we got a week's worth of movies out of it. You know, well, we haven't actually gotten through all of them. Right. So it's more than a week's worth. But yeah, it's making those conscious choices instead of just going
along life.
Society says the norm. Yeah. I don't know. Everything just feels like it's racing all the time to me.
It is racing all the time.
I guess they call it the rat race, right? I guess I should listen to my own words. But yeah, it's, and yet it's difficult. It's difficult to be like, no, this doesn't work for me, right?
Right.
Have to set those boundaries. And
Well, I think it's difficult to learn what works for us. More
I think
so,
that's fair too.
right? We all know what we don't like to do.
Yeah, that's true.
We just do. Like, you know, Sunday nights are a rough night for me because that's garbage day is on Monday. And here we are, 10 years at this house, and last night I forgot again, right? So, and why? Well, I don't know. It's not top priority for me. It's not that I'm scared of it. It's not that I don't like it.
Right.
It's just never at the forefront of my mind. Like, I'm always trying, but again, that goes probably to the rat race of like, it's Sunday. I'm trying to cram everything I can in before tomorrow.
So we also have garbage gets picked up early Monday morning, so it goes out Sunday night. And we had our big party yesterday, and we were getting the kids, one's taking the garbage can and one's taking the recycle containers, right? It works out. And we were having them do it, and they're like, can't the garbage man just come to the garage instead? And we're like, come on, guys. Like, you can walk I'm so tired.
This is part of life that has to happen.
It is. I mean, that's the wonderful thing about kids is, as frustrating as that is, like, I think we're all feeling that, right? Like, I don't want to take the trash to the curb.
Right. I'm tired of carrying the bag.
We act mature, like, oh, I have a reason tonight. It's a pain in the butt. Like, let's be honest. And your driveway's longer, and ours is longer.
Yeah, that's part of the problem. I have 5 acres. It's a long driveway.
Right. Oh, that's funny.
So, I'll have to probably do a midweek dump run. And so that's fine. I just accept it. I'm not going to beat myself up over it. And I actually reviewed it this morning. I realized, now I have an opportunity to clean some of the studio, throw away some stuff I haven't used, and because I'm already going to the dump.
We did that a couple months ago. We were doing something, and it was an excuse to get some more of the garbage out. And then, like, my dad we upgraded to a big, like, fridge-style freezer in the garage a couple months ago. And my dad took our old chest freezer yesterday, and I'm like, yes, something else out of the garage, you know? So, like, you can reframe it. I think at the same time, when you're constantly having to reframe and everything's different, like, it can just become really exhausting, too. So it's it's great to... It's that toxic positivity. We haven't really talked about that on the podcast, but, like, that's too many positivity and podcasts. That's too many PO words in a row. Like, it's good to try and find the silver lining and reframe. Reframing such an important thing for me. And at the same time, it can become... everything's fine because I'm just reframing all the time, right? I think it's fair to acknowledge that it can be difficult to reframe things too. And it can be a lot easier to just be like, oh my God, everything sucks and I'm just going to go back to bed, you know? So.
Yeah, and I don't believe for myself that everything needs to be reframed. Like, there are crappy people out there. Like, so, you know, having a bad experience, I realized, like, I could reframe this and make them back into a good guy. But what I've also realized, though, is that doesn't make me feel any better usually.
I like to look at...
And I think it's more important for me not to take that negative framing to the next experience. I think that was my past personality. It was like 1 or 2 events during the day would make me a victim for a month.
I like to look at people that are difficult as teachers and just be like, okay, this is not how I want to interact in the world. And what can I get? Obviously, I'm getting a strong emotion from this interaction. What can I take from that? What does that look like?
Right. And why is my reaction where it is?
Right. Why
can't I just let them work through the world?
Right. I think that's a fair one. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like you're saying, though, like, it's difficult enough to figure out what we want ourselves to then interact with other people. Yeah, it can be hard to let people just be who they are.
Well, and I think when you're an artist, I think it's everybody, but I think artists more so, is that piece of art is somewhat a part of us. And I think you can separate it. However, it's still us.
Right.
So learning to, like, it's just an experience in time is all it was.
Well, and I think about like there was that old, we always joke about it from like the early 2000s when everybody had a blog, right? And there's definitely, and like we were saying earlier, like why can't we just lift everybody up and be positive for stuff? Because there is so much negativity. There's certainly a side to putting yourself out there. The joke with the blog was you're writing the blog, nobody's commenting, you think you're doing a great job, right? And, you know, the guy's like complaining to his friend, nobody seems to be reading and nobody's commenting. And the buddy's like, spell something wrong. And so he does. And then he gets like 300 comments. Like, it's great, but you spelled this wrong.
Right. The algorithm picks it up.
Well, I mean, this is before algorithm, right? I think there's definitely something to human nature about not saying something positive.
Right.
But as
It's
soon
about
as you
correcting
see a
everybody.
negative,
Right. We project perfection.
Right.
But the reality,
Because
that's
we're
not
imperfect.
reality.
Well,
Right.
we're all, I mean, right? Imperfect is I am perfect, right?
And,
like,
and the perfection is it's an internal perceived reality.
and unnecessary.
And unnecessary.
In most situations.
Right.
I mean, not hitting people on the road. You want to be as perfect with that as possible,
Right, exactly.
I went to the grocery store with a 12-year-old in charge of the cart the other day. I think it was at Costco. And he managed to ram all 3 other parties in the group, right?
Of course he
within
did.
the first, 20 feet in the door. So, yeah, we try not to, some perfection there is helpful.
Right.
That's when I took over the basket. So there we go. We got it. Yeah, I don't know. It's all like, life is just, again, I feel like I keep repeating, I'm 42 and like, life is not what I thought it was, and I'm just seeing everything so differently. And
I think we all are.
I wonder if it's part of where we're at globally and not just me, but it's just hit in what could easily be attributed to, midlife crisis type scenario. So, I mean, I'm a little young for that, I think, 42. Maybe I'm right on track. I don't know.
You're right on track.
But I do think we're seeing a lot of things globally. And I think, 6 years out of a global pandemic that was a trauma. I think we talked about this, didn't we? Like, that was traumatic. It was a trauma situation for everyone. And so to have everyone on the planet experience trauma at the same time, I think it makes sense that we all feel so unhinged and like the ground's moving underneath us. And
more people are awakening.
I've not
to a system that doesn't work.
Right. And I was talking to my mother-in-law this weekend, and she was having some uncertainty feelings, and I just said to her, like, I don't know anyone in my life right now that's not feeling like this. Everyone I know feels like the ground is moving underneath them all the time. And I don't know. I see that there might be some, what correlation, is that the right word, between that global trauma and everybody feeling on edge.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a global world at this point. We're not. We're no longer an isolated country.
No, it's Well, I mean, look at, like we were saying with the border town, right? Like, our Canadian neighbors aren't coming down, and that significantly impacts us. And I understand why they're not. And like,
totally get
that's not. It's just the impact's been significant in our area. So,
and for no reason. That's the bigger dilemma.
I mean, yes. I guess we don't need to go there, but
no.
Yes, it's a crazy thing, man.
Right.
What is it? Jerry Garcia's long strange trip.
Yep.
It's been.
Yep.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. Ooh, into the what am I getting into? I don't even know. Off the art topic onto maybe existential crisis. Is that what we're to? If I'm saying that.
Yeah, we just have to keep moving forward.
Yep. Just keep showing up, right?
Just keep showing
that's
up.
The thing.
Don't give up.
Yeah, don't give up. Just show up. Even if it's like you don't feel like it. Just don't.
And your art may make somebody's day, and then you've won.
Right. And I think we don't realize how significant, because I always worry, like, the enough thing, and like, have I done enough? Is my art good enough? Is my work good enough? Is my whatever, enough. And I think that for me, I know, and I think for many people, like, if you weren't important and needed to be here, you wouldn't be here.
Right.
Like the reality of the stars aligning and your ancestral history and everything coming together to create you in this moment
is magical.
Obviously, you're significant, even if you're just existing, right? Like your existence is enough to, and who knows, maybe you smile at somebody who's had a terrible day and that changes them for the better. You know, like it just, yeah. I'll stop talking.
No, you're
but
doing
it's
fine.
true, right?
It is
like,
true. It is. I mean, all of this is a choice. So make the difficult choice, make art, have fun, live the experience.
A choice and not though. Like I think just us being there is significant.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, we did. I don't. Yeah, I mean, I totally realize it wasn't my choice to be here.
Right.
But I'm fortunate enough to be here.
Or maybe it was your choice. Maybe you know, cosmically.
Right, but that's beyond my memory.
Well,
right?
that's true.
But at the same time, I can make a choice now.
Right.
And I can show up authentically. I can create art that is coming from my authentic core, and I think that's the more difficult art to do. And but I also realize like it's just a moment in time in my life.
Yeah.
And maybe that belief is becoming more and more strong because of so many things I've done throughout the years.
Yeah.
I've been everything up and down at some point, and I've been very successful in many of them.
Right.
And at some point, they either didn't bring me joy or they never brought me joy to begin with. I don't know which on some of them.
Or you needed to do it to get to where you are now.
Right. I think it all is a progressive learning curve. I think it was all art school for me. I think it was all life school for me.
Life school.
And I'm grateful for it all. And some of it was hard, and some of it's still hard.
Yeah. Yes, that's true. All right, do you want to just call it on that?
Yeah.
Okay. So episode 14.
Yeah, episode 14.
32 more to get to
46.
Or 46
And
one.
we'll have ghosts visit us.
And then we'll have the ghost visit, maybe. Who knows?
Who knows?
Do you want to talk about where people can connect with you more?
Yeah, TomFerryStudio.com, Instagram, Facebook. I'm on both of them.
And I'm RebeccaDanger.com. I have bears for sale on there.
Awesome.
And
go buy a bear.
Go buy a bear. And Instagram's Rebecca Danger. And YouTube is Rebecca Danger. Just search Rebecca Danger. That'll do it.
Just search.
All right, so go make something, show up.
Have fun.
Have fun.
Enjoy the world.
And we'll see you again next week.
Bye.